Let's talk about two sex lies that are definitely getting in your way of having better sex. Number one is this idea that everyone else is having more sex than you. Stop freaking out that the world is getting more action than you are, because I assure you they are not. In fact, we are in the midst of a sex recession, meaning that people across all demographics, but especially being driven by Gen Z, are having less sex than they were 20 years ago. Why is this? It could be due to hormones, it could be due to social media, to stress. The point is, everyone else is not having much more fun than you are. Number two is this idea that men want more sex than women. Talk to any couples therapist and they will tell you that when it comes to sexual desire discrepancy, it is more often the case with their patients that it is the woman complaining having a higher sex drive than her male partner than vice versa. It is time to let go of the myth that men are more sexual than women. Women crave sex just as much as men do. If you happen to be in a heterosexual relationship and you are a woman and find your sex drive is higher than your male partner's, don't feel like that is uncommon or weird. It's totally normal, and the good news is there are solutions. Have other questions for your resident sex professor? My door and my DMs are always open. What the hell is a breeding kink? A person with a breeding kink gets really turned on by the idea of getting somebody else pregnant. You might be thinking, isn't that just a desire to procreate? Not necessarily. People with a breeding kink get off on the risky feeling that comes with the possibility of getting somebody pregnant. The feeling of power exchange, where one partner is submitting to the other, leaving their mark. For some, it's more about role play or fantasy. And partners will actually use contraception because they don't really want to get pregnant. Where the fetish gets riskier, of course, is when couples don't use protection, which increases the risk of STIs and unplanned pregnancy. A breeding kink doesn't correspond with one's sexual orientation or sexual identity. Even people who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, queer also report having breeding kinks. Separate but similar to the breeding kink is having a pregnancy fetish or a sexual attraction to pregnant people. One study found that attraction to pregnant and lactating women is actually correlated with more exposure to pregnant and lactating women during childhood. But that's another video for another time. Let's talk about your sexual orientation. Maybe you identify as straight, but occasionally you have curiosities. Maybe you have attractions that aren't totally defined by that identity. I'm here to tell you that not only is that okay, but it's an increasingly common experience that a lot of people are coming to accept. Let me give you an example. A lot of people now identify as being bi-curious, which means they haven't necessarily had sex with people of more than one gender, but they're curious about giving it a try. Or they might identify as being hetero-flexible, which means they mostly identify as being straight, but every now and then want to have a one-off same-sex sexual experience. It's okay to be exploring and to accept that our sexuality, like everything else about us, is fluid. Take your time figuring yourself out. Don't judge yourself if you don't fall into a neat box, and explore the possibilities.